Good afternoon, Royalwood. Kyle here. Video number 1, which we're terming New Beginnings. It's October 15th as well, late on Thursday afternoon. So I know you're all excited about opening up the clubhouse, and we certainly are too. So let me give you some updates on what's occurring as it relates to getting the clubhouse open. This Saturday, we're doing a open house here in the clubhouse for hiring of new employees, servers, busboys, bartenders, and line cooks. Currently, right now, we do have some staff that are joining us from Laura's old employer as well, but we still need to get a couple more staff members for the front of the house. And we have already hired our sous chef for Chef Bill, and now we're taking a look at line cooks and dishwashers for the kitchen operations. So that's this Saturday from 11 to 3 for employees, for us to be hiring employees. So that's that step. The bar is basically kind of up and ready. We have Budweiser coming out tomorrow. Basically all the beer, wine, and liquor have been ordered, and that's being put organized and all the way through. So the bar is certainly in good shape, and we'll be seeking some permission if we can get that open a couple of days before we actually begin full food service. We certainly will for the bar to be open, and also we'll have bar snacks as well, on the bar. As well, and that'll be a practice that we'll do going forward. So we will begin food service in the month of October, okay? And we're just waiting for the Division of Hotel Restaurants, the Fort Myers office, to tell us when they're going to send out an inspector to go ahead and go through the requirements of, okay, you have your thermometers in your refrigerators. You have your employee wash hands in the kitchen and the sinks. It's a pretty global look because the state of Florida plan review, that permit was issued probably the better part of 3 months ago. But they send out a local state of Florida official, and basically that's a trust but verify that all the hand sinks that you said you were going to put in your plans, that they physically see them. They see them there. Chef Bill has been on board basically about 2 weeks now. So the opening menu has been developed, and in all of those aspects, all of the beer, wine, and liquor, and then all of the opening menus are all being inputted into our Jonas software system, which is we've had Jonas, but it was so old. We got a new Jonas software system called Jonas Encore. It doesn't mean much to you, but that's all being programmed in to the system as we speak, and with the menus being developed and the beverage prices and all of that type of stuff. Those are the chits and the tickets, and that's all being done. So we hire all of our employees. We start to get them trained on the point of sale system and how to go ahead and put in their orders and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then we will be reviewing with them the service standards that we're going to be introducing as far as service front of the house, et cetera, okay? Yes, we are going to be doing 2, I kind of called those soft openings, but in reality, those will be 2 afternoons where we're doing training sessions, live training sessions. Those dates, I'm still kind of negotiating because I'm kind of waiting till the Division of Hotel Restaurants tells me when they're going to go ahead and get the inspector in that'll sign off, which literally gives us permission to go ahead and begin food service. So this is this is standard operating procedure, and the moment we get that done, but it's really, really important that we have proper amount of training for our staff before we just go, okay, come one, come all. So when we talk about come one, come all, we are talking about, especially because of COVID-19, that we're going to be working with the social distancing. Every table is probably not going to be set. We're going to be working that policy in all the way through. So we are working on what is going to be our reservation policy. Okay, and the best way to go is, even if it is noon and you want to pop up to the club for lunch, what we're going to do is ask you to call the club and say, hey, do you have a table of 2 available? Do you have a table of 4? Because that's going to be really, really critical, especially as we open up the grill room in the evenings. It's going to be really critical, because we can't have 80 or 90 people coming up for a dinner that we didn't know about, and then there's a big problem because we can't go ahead and social distance our tables, et cetera, which would mean that you'd be forced to be sitting out here and waiting. In the email blast that we're going to send out when we are confident with our schedule to open, which we will open in October, okay, today's the 15th, you will be dining in this club and drinking in this club in the month of October. I can assure you that's going to occur. But it's going to be a call-in. We're also looking to get on board our front receptionist, who will be answering the phone, very quickly able to go ahead and confirm that you're coming up to the club, and that can be relayed to the staff that another reservation has come in, even if it's last minute. So those are some things that are going on here with the club. I know you're anxious. We've been working very hard to get everything ready. The remaining table bases for the tables here in the grill room, those arrived today. So we'll get those installed, and then all the tables and chairs, excuse me, will be all set. So meanwhile, the chef is ordering food, and all of the other condiments. Condiments are coming in. We've been having deliveries like there's no tomorrow. I love the comment that I heard from a couple of members that said, Kyle, it's exciting. We're seeing trucks start to pull in, and their liquor trucks, and their beer trucks, and their food trucks, and all of that. So we know something is happening. With that note, we'll be right back. Thanks. Welcome back. So let me go through kind of verbally, very briefly, our COVID-19 standard operating procedures that we'll be sending off to the board. And it's already been reviewed by some members of the Health and Safety Committee, and then our board liaison to the Health and Safety Committee. And basically, as you are entering the fitness center, all members are required to wear a mask. In the COVID-19 restrictions, we're asking you, if it's a light workout, to feel free to keep your mask on. If you are doing a heavy workout with heavy cardio, heavy breathing, it is not recommended that you keep your mask on, okay? So that's one thing that's in the policy, as it will be. Members should be also observing social distancing in any space that they're in, whether it be the clubhouse or the fitness center. There are sanitizer stands in the fitness center, as well as sanitizing wipes to clean before and after the equipment to use. And then all the equipment is sanitized daily by the housekeeping staff or housekeeping person that we have as well. So just a brief overview of that. If you're heading into the golf shop, then yes, you should be wearing a mask when you enter into the golf shop to conduct any business. When you're checking in, and you're more than happy to take it off once you leave the golf shop. The same holds true for the clubhouse. If you're coming in to see office staff to do something, then you must be wearing a mask to do that. If you're coming into the clubhouse to dine, just like is the natural protocol, wear a mask into the clubhouse, and then when you get seated down for lunch or for dinner, you can go ahead and take your mask off during that time, which is the standard protocol in that. Yes, the staff will all be wearing face masks until further notice as well. And then in addition, there are sanitizing stands that are here in the lobby and at all of the entryways as well. Social distancing will be observed in the clubhouse when we open up. And that means that you very well could be in a situation, if you have been out, that every other table is basically marked not available, so that we can keep the groups basically social distancing as much as possible. So those are just some of the broad guidelines that we'll be employing here as we get ready to open up the clubhouse. So with that, next up, I'm going to give you a trivia update. Thanks. Welcome back. I'm going to give you a trivia update. Trivia is not sold out. Sign-ups haven't even begun. So I don't know where that rumor came around, but trivia is not sold out. Like I said, sign-up hasn't even begun. So the first lottery date, the first trivia date is November 18th. I want to review some basic programs for you. So just like we've always done, you sign up for trivia roughly 2 weeks ahead of the first trivia date. So we will have, and what we'll be doing is sending out an email to members, okay, allowing them, and you all know that are familiar with trivia, you would have the trivia sign-up form, you put the names of your players on there, et cetera, and then you submit it back to the club, and just like it always has been, trivia will be by lottery, okay? If you don't hit the lottery for that particular trivia event, then you automatically get put into the following trivia, which has always been held in 2 weeks. What are some changes this year to the trivia? We will not be doing a buffet, all right? We're doing plated dinners because buffets are not necessarily the way to go. No clubs are really doing buffets anymore because of the COVID-19 restrictions, and we're doing plated as well. So, which means that when your team goes ahead and fills out what their, the team names and all that, you will need to be choosing the entree selection, okay, that is being offered for that particular night. So that will be part of the form as well going forward. So we can go ahead and give the kitchen an idea that it's going to be 60 of this and 35 of this and 25 of that. So that's a little bit of a change as it relates to that. This year more than ever, teams are limited to 8 people or less. There can be no tables as we move into 10 and larger. 8 is the maximum amount of people that can play on a team. So in addition to that, same goes for trivia. Masks are required while in the clubhouse. Obviously when you're not eating or drinking, you can take your, you can go ahead and take your mask off. So those are a couple of things for you to remember. So trivia sign-up sheets will be going out in the relatively very, very near future, as well as we will have them into the clubhouse lobby next week as well. And then we are in the midst of putting in a designated lockbox in the lobby under the reception window, where when you filled out your form, you can simply drop it into the trivia box, so that when the volunteers are ready to pull teams, they can go ahead and it's all right there. So those are some changes that we have going forward. A special note that I told the trivia volunteers that the club is more than happy. As far as I'm concerned, I'm more than happy to have trivia every single week because it's such a popular event for the membership and the demand is very high. But we need volunteers that would be willing to host a trivia, okay? Because the people that host trivia now, what they want to do is basically volunteer for one trivia and then come to the next trivia because they love trivia as well, but they don't want to work it, and not do trivia. So if we were able to get more volunteers to assist with trivia, I'm more than happy to host trivia on a weekly basis because it is so popular. It's a really, really, really big event. So, so those are a couple of things about trivia. It's not sold out. Sign-ups haven't even begun. So why don't we put that out there for you on that. So, and there'll be information that's coming out. So just relax, everybody. We're good to go. The next trivia is not for another, probably just shy of 5 weeks, okay? So we got that all well under control with our trivia volunteers. So that's all good. So hopefully you can all relax a little bit. On our closing note, many of you happen to know an owner, Mar Jung, who had come down with COVID-19, and another group of members that were out. Here's the great news. All tests have now come back negative, and Marge is now negative, and the other people as part of the dinner party and all of that never tested positive, never from day one. So our hats off to Marge for beating COVID-19 and the whole and coming back negative. So super, super, super. That is absolutely great. And I want to put that word out because obviously there's a lot of conversation to the point that it actually got up into my office. So I want to put that out because it's such great news and it's so positive for all of us. So with that being said, to Royalwood members, video number 1, new beginnings, and they're going to start real soon. May your best football team win. May God bless this great country, and we'll see you next week.